Imagine you're just settling in for the night, right? You're totally exhausted from a really long week, and suddenly your phone rings. It's your mechanic, and your car just completely broke down. Now, instead of relaxing, you're staring straight down the barrel of a sudden massive repair bill. And the mechanic doesn't sugarcoat it. He tells you the repair is going to be exactly $2,800. Boom! Your heart just drops right into your stomach. Image prompt, cinematic, high-end finance visual, 4K, professional, minimalist, dark blue and gold theme, close-up of a glowing digital invoice showing $2,800 reflecting off a dark reflective surface. Why? Because your credit card is already hovering dangerously close to its limit, and you literally don't know where this money's going to come from. To make matters worse, at the exact same time, your rent is due in exactly 5 days. Talk about a ticking clock, right? That looming due date just amplifies the panic tenfold. We've all been there in some way, shape, or form. But here's the thing, for millions of people, this kind of crushing financial stress doesn't actually begin with a lack of money, but rather a severe lack of preparation.
So I want you to ask yourself one brutally honest question right now. If this happened to you today, would this unexpected bill be just a temporary inconvenience, or would it completely derail your entire life? You know, people often think that a high income automatically guarantees stability, but honestly, that is a super dangerous illusion. Okay, let's dive into this explainer and look at our roadmap out of this anxiety. Today we're going to cover rethinking stress, reprogramming your money mindset, managing crises, building a safety net, and finally, investing for long-term freedom.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, Rethinking Financial Stress, specifically income versus your habits. You see, financial stress exists at absolutely every single income level. You can have someone earning 50 grand a year feeling totally overwhelmed, while someone pulling in $200,000 is still living entirely paycheck to paycheck. So the crucial point we need to grasp is what true financial security actually means. It's the direct result of the behavioral habits that shape your daily decisions, not just raw income, having wealthy parents, or just getting incredibly lucky. Financial confidence isn't some genetic trait you're naturally born with. It's something you actively build, one single intentional decision at a time.
Moving on to Section 2, let's talk about reprogramming your money mindset.
Listen, before a single dollar ever reaches your bank account, it passes through this invisible filter of financial beliefs that you probably never even consciously chose. Maybe growing up you heard that rich people are greedy, or that investing is just way too risky for normal folks. If you secretly harbor the belief that wealthy people are just lucky, you're literally never going to look for the opportunities that are sitting right in front of you. Your brain naturally avoids goals it considers impossible. It's just how we're wired. So you have to actively change the story you tell yourself if you want to actually change your financial future. When you finally replace that toxic "I'll never be wealthy" thought with, "Hey, I'm learning how wealth is built," you trigger this incredibly powerful psychological conditioning. And this isn't just blind optimism, okay? It is the exact mindset shift that gives you the genuine confidence to go out and negotiate a higher salary. It pushes you to seek out new income streams and view investing as a serious long-term strategy rather than just mere gambling. Your financial life always changes twice, first in your mind and then, eventually, in your bank account.
All right, Section 3, Managing Crises and Deadlines.
Let's be real. Life has a way of testing absolutely everyone. When a sudden emergency strikes, most people immediately panic. And I'll tell you right now, panic leads directly to emotional, incredibly expensive mistakes. But there is a clear, actionable path out of that panic. Step 1 is you have to force yourself to just slow down and breathe. Step 2 is asking yourself, okay, what is the real problem I am trying to solve right now? And step 3 is often realizing that the answer isn't finding more money immediately, but rather negotiating for more time. Just one single, calm conversation with a lender, a hospital, or a landlord can literally save you thousands of dollars in unnecessary fees.
I really want you to remember this incredibly powerful truth. Financial strength isn't measured by how often life knocks you down. It is entirely measured by how quickly you regain control after every single setback. The goal here isn't to live a completely problem-free life, because that's literally impossible, but to build the absolute confidence that no problem will ever completely destroy your future.
Imagine for a second that you're boarding a massive commercial airplane, but there's a catch. It has absolutely no destination, no flight path, and no expected arrival time. You would never trust that pilot, right? Yet millions of people manage their hard-earned money based on vague wishes like, "Oh, I want to save more," instead of setting firm, non-negotiable targets.
To avoid flying blind like that, you have to create a real system out of your dreams.
When you attach a specific, realistic deadline to a goal, like saying, I will save $10,000 within the next 24 months, you immediately force your brain to ask entirely new questions. You transform a mere fluffy wish into a concrete system, and that builds unstoppable momentum that eventually turns into real, tangible wealth.
Now we're on to Section 4, building a safety net, or as I like to call it, the shock absorber.
Picture driving down a highway at 70 miles an hour and suddenly, bam, you hit a massive pothole. With a proper suspension system, your car absorbs that heavy impact and you just keep moving smoothly. But without it, that exact same pothole becomes a total, catastrophic disaster. Well, your financial life works exactly the same way, because major financial emergencies aren't rare, they are absolutely guaranteed to happen. An emergency fund isn't just some generic savings account. It is your ultimate financial shock absorber, and it actively prevents a simple flat tire from turning into years of crippling, maxed-out credit card debt.
And honestly, the best part is that you don't need an absolute fortune to get started on this habit. Even just setting aside your very first $1,000 creates a massive psychological shift. Image prompt: cinematic, high-end finance visual, 4K, professional, minimalist, dark blue and gold theme, a single glowing gold coin standing upright creating ripples across a calm, dark blue liquid surface. Suddenly, you transition from operating out of constant low-level fear to operating with genuine confidence when minor setbacks inevitably occur.
Then, as your finances naturally improve over time, that safety net should expand to cover several months of your essential living expenses. At that point, you are no longer just surviving from paycheck to paycheck. You are actually buying the most valuable financial asset of all: time. You're buying time to search for the right job, time to recover from a hit, and time to make smart, calculated decisions instead of desperate ones.
Which brings us to Section 5, investing for long-term freedom.
So there is a massive trap that almost everyone falls into when they first start making real money, and that's believing that saving alone is enough. But if your money just sits in a regular old checking account, inflation quietly destroys your purchasing power year after year. It makes your money much weaker in reality, even if the number looks exactly the same on paper. Investing is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's simply giving your money a job. Every single dollar you invest becomes a tiny, tireless employee working for you 24 hours a day, fighting off inflation and ultimately rewarding your patient discipline.
But how do you actually protect those tiny, hard-working employees? You diversify. Imagine trying to balance your entire body weight on one leg. The smallest push or a strong gust of wind could knock you right over. Diversifying into stocks, bonds, real estate, and commodities is like standing firmly on 2 feet. It doesn't eliminate risk entirely, but it totally prevents one single bad decision or random market drop from ruining your entire financial future.
And finally, our conclusion: the ultimate goal of wealth.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to reiterate that financial freedom is rarely built in a single weekend or through one incredibly lucky crypto investment. It is built quietly through hundreds of unflashy, small decisions and daily habits that most people literally never even notice. Keep in mind that the ultimate goal here is not to impress other people with expensive, flashy purchases that you don't even need. Money is simply a versatile tool meant to buy you choices and time. It gives you the total freedom to leave a job you absolutely hate, the ability to completely support your family when they need you most, and the incredible power to retire exactly on your own terms. Remember, every great financial future begins with one single, focused decision. Not next year, not next month, but today. So I have a question for you. Which of these 5 habits will you actively start working on this week? Image prompt: cinematic, high-end financial visual, 4K, professional, minimalist, dark blue and gold theme, a subtle golden question mark, elegantly carved into a smooth, dark blue marble slab. Take a real moment to reflect on that. And hey, if you found value in this explainer today, make sure to engage and subscribe for more deep dives into building real, lasting wealth. See you next time.